Hey, Eddie the North, what's up, brother? Well, these sprint car pieces I was mentioning, I'm working on. Got them all sanded last night. I was here at about midnight. This one here is white on both sides. All the other pieces, I got black on the back. I'll walk around and show you. I got the hood done, black on the back. The dash is done. Whatever that is done. These three pieces are black on the back. This piece here's black on the back, ready for the white paint. The tank's all ready. That piece there is done. Today I was going around and the epoxy in these, they had a little gap around where that metal insert, I don't know if it goes through the other side or how they are, but I smoothed them all up and epoxied them up. I have one little spot right here. I brushed polyester on earlier, and I didn't sand it yet. I'm gonna wait till I roll it over. That tank, the fuel cell, gets all white. But anyways, here's what I wanted to put up. I tested a piece with the paint, single stage, PPG, commercial, Alkyd, custom mix white or something it's called. I'll show you the can. But I just wanted to show you like that peely effect that the 3M guns give you, the Accu sprays. Now that's two slow wet coats. You can see it, like it's a little more peely. It'll flow out some more, but you see where it started to flow out, it's a little, I don't know if you can see it, but it's a little peely, but it flows out. Now this is a single stage. This is a sprint car. It gets lettered, so that's the way. And that's no reducer, no additives, no nothing to it. That's just the paint right out of the can in the gun with a I don't know what that one was, a 1.2 or 1.3 tip, and it won't go bad as long as it ain't sprayed, so I'm gonna leave it in there. And I might do the 1.4 tip right there. They just snap on and snap off of the gun with these two little buttons on the side. They're kind of hard to push, but that way you can see it. And I might do the 1.4. It'll put it on a little more peely, but it'll leave it flow out a little bit. But this stuff snaps up pretty quick, so I was ready to. It was sticky in like a minute with the Modine one up here, and it's blowing the totally opposite direction over to that corner, which I shut the sliding door, and low pressure and just go slow. And I don't have any. I have dust everywhere, but I have no overspray whatsoever on my bike. Any of these bikes, really. All 9 of them that are down here and hidden. But anyways, and I'm all the way over there painting it, facing that way and facing that way. That way I'm not pointing it back this way. There's no overspray on the fuel cell or nothing. But that's the good thing about a lot of people spray. Now this is a little thicker. Here's the paint. This was given to the owner of the sprint car from BAPS, where we get our Burkheimer's Auto Paint Supply up there in Lewisberry nearby. It's a PPG commercial performance coating. Is the ALK 200. You can get an additive for it. See, it's custom tinted acrylic modified Alkyd enamel, straight out of the can. It's a little thicker than automotive paint, but this is more like you could say like the spray booths. The paint booths are painted white, kind of like that. And it looks peely just the same as this sprays. And those Accu Spray 3M guns, they spray automotive paint peely and it flows out. That's why I say what they do at the factory, we duplicate it here. And it's by your finish, how your gun's set up and your pressure. And you can still see it's still flowing. Let me find a spot here. My fingers are dirty, but barely right in the glare, my dirty fingerprint, but barely a fingerprint in it. It's that sticky, that quick. See, nothing on me. It's just sprayed it. It's thick. So when I pull the back tape off, being the shape of it, I back taped it in there so I wouldn't blow white onto the new trim black. And what I could do too is, while it's wet, the edges isn't a concern. To me, these holes are. So when I pull my back tape off, what I could do is just pull that hole down while it's wet, or just leave it alone until it's dry. See, because I have the tape. Now watch, I got this piece. The other piece I couldn't grab. See, that way when it's dry or dries, that paint isn't sealing my tape to the part, is what I was going to say. But as long as I can hold on to it and video it for you, I'll get the, see how gummy it is, puddling up against the tape. See, that way I can pull that back, get a hold of that masking tape that's wrapping the corners up there, that hole. See, I got another one here. See, just enough to pull it back, and I'll be good with that. I'll do that to every part. That way when that paint dries, I don't have it sealing my tape to the part. There we go. Good news. Or like I just smeared it on the back, but it's black, but that don't really matter. Even when we unmask the cars, we wait. But that's a different story, but we wait about an hour and unmask them. Get it done. That way, when you pull the tape, if your paint seals to your car or anything anywhere, the tape isn't going to pull your paint. It's scary doing this with one hand. That's for sure. I taped all over the place inside of here. I better get rid of this one first. Sorry about that. Hard to video. Watching the part, not watching the phone where the camera is. Slide that back. If I don't get it all off, I don't care as long as I roll this edge. Everything else is good. New paint will seal my tape to it. Oh, good, it's coming off. Great. Look how sticky that is already. I just sprayed this. Wait a couple minutes. See, that's where I don't want to get my fingerprints, the white on my fingers onto the black. There we go, I got it. There, that way that can sit and cure on its own. I just shot pictures to the owner of the sprint car, what I was just doing, but I wanted to shoot you a video up since you're a loyal friend. Always checks my videos out too, even though they're nothing that's not out there already. They might be boring or whatever, but I wanted to show you, like that Ford truck bumpers. I'm still surprised at my own work, that they come out like that and have that little peel effect to it. I put other videos up of that F-150, but I'll update you on that when we're getting ready. Started taping it up today. The driver's side fender, 2 doors, the left rear, well, of course, left cab corner at the top beside the window was dented in. I fixed all that, popped it out, PDR'd it, and then skim coated it with mud. And then did the whole roof because the tree fell on it. And then the side of that bed, the left side where we're smashed in, I poured it, powered it out, hammered and dollied it up. Got a very thin glaze of the Fibertech fiberglass reinforced filler on it, and then a glazing of the lightweight filler we use, the AG47. It's a USC brand, United States Chemical. It is USC AG47. I think it's like $50 a gallon. It's well worth it. Very, very minimal shrinkage. And if I get a hot spot when I'm working with the metal, I hammer my hot spot down and it doesn't pop. And another thing I wanted to show you is right here is where I just sprayed that, facing this way and facing that way, because of having the part turned like that. So I wasn't blowing it beside me on the fuel cell. And right here is this little scooter, and you can, don't know if you can see, there's dust on everything, but there's not a speck of white overspray on nothing. See the dust? Look across the chrome and watch, and I'll wipe it. No overspray on here whatsoever. That's what you get when you run the low pressure. I don't really look at the dial, the regulator. I just know by how it's flowing out. I usually don't spray it on something. I start spraying my car, my part first. Same way with this. It's just dusty. I don't know if you can see the dust here. There's where I wiped it. There, now you can see that line. There's where I wiped it, and there's where I didn't. It's just dust, no overspray. That's the best part of the 3M AccuSpray guns. I like it because it puts that paint out in like droplets, you could call it, at low pressure, and it flows out for you. And I have another one here somewhere. Forget where I put it. It's around. Oh, here it is. This thing here, those AccuSpray kits are like $2.25 maybe. But I have this one here. This gun, just the gun, came with a regulator and no PPS cup adapter. That wasn't with it. That's a $15 thing extra. But this is a Graco Phoenix FX 3000. Like some people call them Phoenix, some people call them Phonics. But that's already a 1.8 tip. And you can hammer that a little bit at and it's like a kind of a gunmetal black chrome kind of finish on it. It was like $2.19 just for that gun up the street here at the parts place. But and it's a 1.8 and it sprays very fine. You can adjust your pressure up, but then I don't like wasting material. I like it to go on what I'm painting. But just a couple of things. You can make these Harbor Freight guns work good as long as you set your pressure, set your fan. Here's my philosophy, and a lot of people go by it that I know. Material wide open, fan wide open, and just adjust your pressure. Turn if your gun has a air pressure down here on the gun somewhere or on the side, open it up and only use the regulator for your pressure. For automotive paint that we spray here every day, we usually run around 7 to 12 psi with the AccuSpray 3M guns, and it fan wide open, material wide open. Go slow, stay back, and it lays that paint on peely like I was showing you on that part right there, and then it flows out. And the paint, that's fine, flowing out. See, I'd even flowed out a little bit more for me already. That's cool though. The tool guy was here today, Cornwell tool guy that owns this car. He was checking out how smooth everything is and straight everything turned out. Like, it's fiberglass, it's going to be wavy. That plastic cell, whatever it's made of, polyethylene or whatever, is wavy. You don't care about that, but this stuff came in here all beat up in big chunks and flakes and chips of paint hanging off that somebody painted over. That's why I sanded it down to suit me, and 2K primed it. That's the dark color. The light color is polyester spray filler, and I still got some more work to do to the tank, but all the rest of these other parts floating around in here, they're all ready to paint. So I'm going to pick on one little by little by little till I get them all done. But I just wanted to see how nasty smelling this was. This does not smell near as bad, that alkyd paint, that doesn't smell near as bad as if you went to the hardware store or whatever and bought that Rust-Oleum alkyd paint. That shit really stinks. And when I used to spray that for in commercial property like doctors' offices, different places, and redoing their metal filing cabinets in there, real big ones, like huge cabinets, keep all their records or medicines in. When I worked for an interior restoration company years ago in the 90s, they would take and have us take them out, and I had a little garage in York, Pennsylvania, you know, close by in West York, and I would take all the cabinets over, take them apart, take them all over my garage, wipe them down with lacquer thinner just to clean all the crap off if I can. Or the best thing I used to use on many cabinets, wood or metal or whatever, was that liquid sandpaper, and make sure they're clean and dry, dust free. And then here's a must. Best thing you'll ever wipe a surface down with to clean it before you paint. Right there, buddy. Invisible glass, $3 and a couple cents a can. The best thing to ever wipe it down, anything you're painting down with, ever, before you use any prep saw or wax and grease remover. I have it here. Right there it is. Wax and grease remover. But what I use that for is when I do body work. What can I put some on? Well, I'll just make this wet. When I do body work, when I look at it, see how shiny that is when it's wet? It clings to everything. That's the only thing I use wax and grease remover, unless I have grease on my hands. But I don't touch that bottle with greasy hands because it contaminates what you're doing. You see how that wax and grease remover clings to it? You can see your body work, how straight or wavy or whatever you are. That's anything I use it for. Or they have this PPG DX330 is a good prep solvent to wipe your car down if it's like a black new part that's primer black already, or if it's something the car is going to be painted black, something that just cleans that surface very, very good. And if you have bare metal, to wipe that down before you seal it. Like if it's a new door, you strip the black primer off that's factory from the door, you know, aftermarket or new, it's black. Like this here, I'll show you. How this Uniside come in for that dart that I cut the rocker out of it and put it in because it was too new to buy a rocker yet. So I had to buy the whole Uniside of the car. It's upside down laying here. This here is the whole piece. It's what's left out of that's where I cut it. And the rocker come down like this and went all the way down along there to the front of the car. So I put the whole thing on. But anyways, if you can just scuff that, sand it, whatever. But if you want to wipe that with a good prep solvent, which glass cleaner does the same thing. But the invisible glass, buddy, is the way to go. That's why I had it close to wipe my part down. And several times, excuse my cigarette, through the day, my hands get really trashed and dirty and rough. I usually have, that's what this rag is. I had that sitting on the can as I keep it here to always clean my hands with. It'll find cuts, it burns, but once in a while, like my fingers are split dry from sanding and whatnot. But anyways, there you go, buddy. The longest video I ever put up, over 21 minutes. I just wanted to put that piece up. I gotta show it to you again. Man, that flowed out with minimal peel. It's fiberglass, so it's wavy. They don't care about that. But when I was gonna say, when the tool guy was here earlier, he said the lettering guy, the sign guy that's gonna letter the car, will love me for having such a smooth surface for him to letter on. And then another thing too, this is like to get that our body shop, the First Avenue Collision, on the car for advertisement. And then talking to him, he knows another guy I know for years that I guess does the sprint cars. I haven't seen him probably, I don't know, 30 years or so. But maybe I can get his body work and stuff like that on the sprint car parts and everything to do for some side money, you know. Doing cheap. Usually people will just charge about $300 to do these. Now we don't have the top wing or the front wing of the car here because they're already brand new. They're already white that matches this. So they're just going to letter on that. But anyways, once it's done and the car is lettered, I'm going to get the guy to send me a bunch of pictures of it from all different directions so you can see what's going to be on all these parts then. All right, brother. Peace out.